I want to ask you as a personal trainer going out on your own. So like so many personal trainers start in a gym, but you've actually built your own practice. How did that happen?
Very big question, and kind of part of what you touched on there. I did start in a gym, and you have to build up that traction right off the start. Like, you can't go out and do it off your own bat straight away. It's a big giant step for anybody to take to go and open their own business. After you qualify as a personal trainer, you think, yeah, this is no problem. I see so many people doing this. I'm going to work with all the athletes. I'm going to work with all the models. Everybody wants to train with me. Where the real fact is, nobody knows you, and why should they trust you? In any business, they've got to decide why they trust you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And this is a very personal thing for people. You're trying to help them achieve goals that they haven't been able to do on their own. You're trying to push through barriers of, personal issues with family, anything else. Like, there's so many barriers for them to succeed there that it's hard. So you have to gain a bit of momentum. You have to gain, experience. So you can't go out and do this sort of thing without a massive amount of experience first.
So feck anyone else. How about you? How did you get your experience as a personal trainer?
I turned up every day to work. I worked my ass off. I read, I learned, and I listened to anybody who was willing to talk to me.
Okay. And can I ask, how did you get your first client?
I approached them and asked them, did they want to train? I saw what they were doing. I explained to them why they weren't doing it quite correctly. Nobody had ever done it to them in that sort of a way before. So I had already started to build that trust with them without ever having sat down and done anything with them yet. They came in, we did a taster session, history.
Because your hours are grueling. You charge by the hour. You start work at sometimes 5 or 6 a.m. You might go till 6 or 7 or 8 p.m. at night. What gets you out of bed in the morning? What allows you kind of, I suppose, or have that kind of energy to move forward in a day? Like, what drives you?
I haven't worked in years, Jamie. I don't do a job. I do something that I love. Like, every single hour is different. Every single hour with the same person is different. If I see that person 3 or 4 times a week or 5 times a week, that's 5 separate hours. They're all completely different. So I don't really know what I'm expecting to happen. Anything can happen in those times. I can plan each of those sessions out, but somebody can come in to me and go, I didn't sleep last night because the kids had me up 3 and 4 times and I feel like absolute crap. I'm not going to run them through a metabolic session like I had planned there today. It's completely different. I've sometimes got to think on my feet. It's never the same. That's what I love about it. Seeing people then achieve goals, get to places they want to be happier in themselves, have a more fulfilling life, have more time with the kids, be able to go off and play with the kids. These are the things that are actually fantastic, and I feed off that energy.
Say for example, for where you are now, 31, with your own gym, with your own list of loads of fancy clients, right? And you're really happy, you're really fulfilled for where you are right now. And you could talk to you as you were just starting off and just going to get into this profession. What would you say?
Take a breath.
Take a breath?
Take a breath. I was one of those people who thought once I qualified that I'd come out and I'd be 100 sessions a week and everybody would want to train with me, but it doesn't happen like that. You've got to take a breath, you've got to take your time. I thought, I'll do personal training, I'll do classes, I'll do this, and boot camps, and I wanted to do a bit of everything. But what I had to do was take a breath, trial one of them, move on, decide whether that was right or not, see if it would integrate into the plan, and move on to the next one. So instead of doing classes and one-on-one and group training and all the such, I've actually at this age now, nearly 9 years on, found out that the one-on-one is what suits me best. So I just focus on that. I wouldn't have realised that if I hadn't have trialled them all. What I should have done is just trial them one by one instead of trying them all at once at the start and nearly blowing myself out the first 2 or 3 years. So just take a breath, relax into it, and see what's right for you.
Can I ask you, when you were saying to yourself, look, you'd say take a breath with yourself, for anybody say watching this and say, in the middle of thinking I'm going to start my own gym or my own studio or I'm going to start training, what would you be saying to them?
Go talk to people. Find people who have their own studios. Find people who are where you want to be and go talk to them. Get knowledge from people who have done what you're looking to do. Not so that you can skip steps, not so that you can do anything else, so you know what you're getting yourself into. Same reason that you do a consultation with a personal trainer is so that you know what you're getting yourself into. A lot of personal trainers will do a free consultation for you to start, which is great, but it does 2 things. It allows you to understand what you've got to do and what the trainer's going to ask of you, and then it allows the trainer to decide if you're somebody that they want to work with as well, because it's a 2-sided coin. This is a very personal thing. So going back to that, if you're going to start your own business, if you're going to start your own studio as a trainer, it's got to be your studio, so it's very personal. Like it's got to have your feel. But there are many people who've been there before, so go talk to these people, gain knowledge, gain experience from people who've been there before. I've talked to loads of mentors over the years of doing this, like, and it's been invaluable. I've learned more from sitting down having lunch with people than I have from going on courses or weekend courses or even degree courses or anything like that, because these people are real world experience. You know, they know what actually happens as opposed to what a textbook says will probably happen.
I want to ask one last thing, because I'm really interested in your work on social media. You're really active on social media. Like, how important do you think social media is for anybody in your profession?
Oh, it's vital. Like, it's the lifeblood of what we do at the moment. Just because there's so many voices out there, in order for you to be heard, you can't stay silent and just hide behind your doors of your studio, behind the doors of your gym. You've got to let people know what you're doing, let them know what you're capable of, see what you're like. The important part there is to make sure your personality, your style of training comes through on social media. That's really important. Not just to rehash what's already gone before, like, you know, eat protein, make sure you have veggies. Great, like, I've never heard that line before, like, you know, but go out there and show people what you're about. That's what social media is important for people in my line of work.
And you get the bulk of your business comes through social media?
Massive amounts of it, like,
yeah.
Whether it's queries or click-throughs for emails from Instagram, like, you know, it's just because people can visually see what you're doing. I can send out newsletters to beat the band and give 5 diet tips for this and that, but people don't trust that sort of stuff anymore. They want to see, people want to have a visual so that they can buy into what you're talking about, so they know that when you're saying something, he does that.
Yeah. So it shows off how genuine you are, how authentic what it is that you're doing. It gives a transparent look into what you're doing.
Exactly.
And that's what people buy into over and above anything else.